Hello everyone. So we will continue our discussion. So today we will discuss about permutation. Suppose we have 6 different potted plants and we wish to arrange 4 of them in a row. In how many ways can this be done? So in order for us to determine the number of ways these plants can be arranged in a row, if we arrange only 4 of them at a time, so there is each possible arrangement is called a permutation. Now, in permutation, arrangement is very important. So, para malaman niyo kung yung given ba, yung given example or yung problem ba is a permutation or not, ang tatandaan niyo lang is a permutation has an arrangement. Meron siyang arrangement. So, yung mga previous natin na example, halimbawa, paano mo i-arrange yung paano mo i-arrange yung plants sa row, or yung kung mag-picture kayo, paano nyo arrange yung sarili nyo sa picture taking in a row. Another one is paano ka magkakaroon ng first, second, and third sa 10 runners. So that is also an arrangement because the first, second, and third, meron sinusunod na arrangement. Pati yung pag-select ng set of officers, vice president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So meron siyang arrangement. So ang tatandaan nyo sa permutation, meron siyang arrangement. The permutation of 6 potted plants taken 4 at a time is denoted by, ito yung mga notation pwede niyong gamitin. Pwede siyang permutation of 6 taken 4 at a time, or permutation of 6 taken 4 at a time, permutation of 6 taken 4 at a time, or permutation of 6 taken 4 at a time. So, ito yung mga ginagamit na notation. Similarly, if there are n objects which will be arranged R at a time, it will be denoted as P of n taking R at a time. So, n refers to the number of objects. Number of objects, ito siya sa isang given. And yung R naman is ilan yung kailangan natin at a time. Ilan lang yung pwede at a time. Object taking at a time. Taking at a time. So the permutation of n objects taking R at a time is denoted by this one, P of n taking R. In some books, it is also denoted by ito, NPR, PNR, or PNR. In this learning material, we will use the first notation. So, ang gagamitin natin na notation is this one. Sige, how do we find the number of permutation of objects taking R at a time? So let's have an example here. Given the 4-letter word read, in how many ways can we arrange its letters 3 at a time? So by using we know that by using the fundamental counting principle, if we're going to arrange, tatlo lang yung kailangan natin, no, at a time. So there are 4 letters, so that is 4, 3, and 2. Using the fundamental counting principle. So that is 4 times 3 is 12 times 2, which is 24. That is the fundamental counting principle. Okay, there are 3 positions to be filled. We write the horizontal marks, ito, like what we did. On each horizontal mark, we write the number of choices we have in filling up the said position. There are 4 choices for the first position. After the first position is filled, there are 3 choices left for the second position. After the first and second positions are filled, there are 2 choices left for the third position. So the 3 entries on the horizontal marks would be this one, just like what we did, no, for 3 and 2. we apply the fundamental counting principle and multiply. So that is 4 times 3 times 2 is equal to 24. Thus, there are 24 possible ways of arranging the 4 letters of read, taking 3 of them at a time. So, 4 yung number of objects, total number of objects, pero out of that 4, tatlo lang yung ating kailangan. So, ito yung ating n, 4 yung ating n, yung r naman natin is 3. We also say that 4 letters of read, taking 3 at a time, have 24 permutations. One of them is red. So, verify this result. Let us take a second look at the example above. Remember that n is equal to 4 and r is equal to 3. So, that is 4 times 3 times 2 is equal to, so we start our n is 4, then followed by n minus 1, which is 4 minus 1 is 4, n minus 1 is 4 minus 1 is 3, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So notice that the first factor is n, ito, and the succeeding factor decrease by 1 each time. So, na-minusan siya ng 1, tapos yung 3 naging 2, decrease naman siya ng 1. Look at the last factor, which is n minus 2. So, n minus 2 is equal to n minus 3 minus 1. So, n minus r minus 1 or n minus r plus 1. Take note that there are r factors in all, starting with n. So, for us to go deeper, let's have an example here para ma-discover na natin yung ating formula. Actually, meron tayong ginagamit na formula on permutations. In a school club, there are 5 possible choices for the president, a secretary, a treasurer, and an auditor. Assuming that each of them is qualified for any of these positions, in how many ways can the 4 officers be elected? So, meron tayong president, secretary, treasurer, and auditor. So, using the fundamental counting principle, so that is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. The number of permutations of n objects taking r at a time is p of nr, where n is greater than or equal to r is this one. So, tingnan natin ang derivation. Note that there are r factors. From what principle was the formula arrived? Can you answer the problem earlier? Suppose we have 6 potted plants and we wish to arrange 4 of them in a row. In how many ways can this be done? So what if there are 5 objects to be arranged and we could arrange all of them every time? That is, n is equal to 5 and r is equal to 5. So paano kung ganon? So let's discover. Let's have example number 3. In how many ways can 5 people arrange themselves in a row for taking for picture taking? So, for this one, all of the 5 objects or 5n natin, gagamitin natin siya kasi wala man sinabi na ilan lang yung kailangan. No? So, lahat we will use. So, solution is n is equal to 5 and our r is equal to 5. So, that is p of 5 taking r at taking 5 at a time. So, that is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or the 5 factors. So there are 100 possible pictures. Just like this. This is one example. How they can arrange themselves in a picture taking. So to summarize, we have this one. In the third example, we use all the numbers from n is equal to 5 down to 1. Another way of writing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is 5 factorial. So, pag makakita kayo ng ganito, ibig sabihin, this is read as 5 factorial. This is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Similarly, we have also 4 factorial, which is equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 8 factorial, start with 8 down to 1. 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1. 10 factorial, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 1 factorial is 1 because 1 is the last digit here, last number. So 1 lang siya. So we have also have to define that 0 factorial, pag sinabing 0 factorial, it is always equal to 1. So pag nakakita kayo ng 0 factorial, it is equal to 1. So that's in example number 3. So that is permutation of 5 taken 5 at a time is equal to 5 factorial, which is equal to 120. And also we have permutation of 8 taken 8 at a time is equal to 8 factorial. So that is 40,320. And we have also permutation of 4 taken 4 at a time is equal to 4 factorial, which is equal to 24. So we have here, in addition, since P of n taken r at a time is equal to this notation, so we have here the formula used in permutation. This is the formula used in permutation. That is permutation of n taking r at a time is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. So ito yung gagamitin ninyo na formula. Sa permutation, in which dapat yung n natin is greater than or equal to r. Hindi pwedeng mas maliit yung number of object natin kaysa dun sa kailangan natin na gamitin at a time. So this one. So the permutation of n objects taking r at a time is, so ito yung formula. So remember the formula? Sige, try na natin i-apply sa isa sa ating mga examples kanina. So sa example number, okay, this one. In a school club, there are 5 possible choices for the president, a secretary, treasurer, and an auditor. Assuming that each of them is qualified for any of these positions, in how many ways can the 4 officers be elected? So using the formula on permutation, this is permutation because there is an arrangement, because yung president, vice president may pagkasunod-sunod, so meron siyang arrangement. So by using the formula of permutation, which is permutation of n taken r at a time is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. So ito yung formula, no, where n is greater than or equal to r. So we will apply this one. So our n here is 5. Lahat yung possible, yung objects natin, no? Tapos yung r, kailangan lang natin is 4. So that is p of 5 taken 4 at a time is equal to, this is 5, our n is 5 factorial over 5 minus 4 factorial. Our r is 4. So we have, so 5 factorial is, di ba sinabi kanina, 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 4 minus 1 is 1. 1 factorial is 1. So ang gagawin natin, cancel itong 1. So ang naiwan na lang, we have 4 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2, which is equal to 120 ways. Okay, that's it. So ito yung tandaan nyo. This is the formula we're going to use in permutation. That p of n taking r at a time is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial, wherein n is greater than or equal to r. Okay, so remember that formula. That's all for this video. Thank you and God bless everyone.